I don't care if you go to LSE, Oxford, Cambridge or Harvard. If your CV or your resume is dead, you're not getting an interview offer. It's as simple as that. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you 5 things that you should never do on your CV. And then I'm going to tell you about today's video sponsor who you're not going to want to miss out on, especially if you want to break into banking and finance careers. And then I'm going to tell you 5 things that you should do on your CV, because every person at an investment bank who sees your CV and who sees these 5 things loves seeing them. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, number 1, the last thing you want to do on your CV is include lots of random statements that aren't backed up with experience or proof of a result achieved or a skill that you learned. Now let me explain this a bit more. On your CV, you're going to have your work experience, you're going to have your irrelevant or relevant experience, you're going to have extracurricular activities and hobbies, interests, so on and so forth. And for each section, you're going to have lots of bullet points, right? Every single bullet point that you mention on your CV should kind of have a result achieved towards the end of it or a skill that you learned. Now this is important for uni students and graduates because you don't really have much to talk about compared to like an experienced professional. Let's say you state something like you are a great team player. You need to back it up with an example. When did you display teamwork skills? What was the result of your teamwork? So you can say, you know, having worked as part of a team when I was a barista at Starbucks, I had to manage relationships with other employees. And the positive outcome of this was our sales for the month skyrocketed compared to months that I wasn't there. Anything like that. You state something and then you back it up with an example. And then at the end, you talk about a skill that you learned or developed. In this case, it was teamwork skills. Or you can talk about a result that you achieved. In this case, it was outstanding sales for the month. The reason why this is important is because investment banks, finance firms, consulting firms, they are all results driven. These industries are results driven industries. If you don't get results, you won't last long in these industries. And so they want to see on your CV, have you produced results before? If you have, what type of results? All of the best candidates, all the candidates who get interviews, who get offers, they do this on their CV very, very well. So don't state something and not back it up with a result achieved or a skill developed or an example of a time that you actually did that thing. Alright, next, this one's a simple one, but a lot of people, especially if you're going into first year university, you probably don't know this. Your CV should not be longer than 1 page long. That's all I'm going to say on it. Keep it to 1 page max. Investment banks don't have time to look at any more pages than the first page. Alright, these seem very simple and basic, but honestly they make the biggest difference. Spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, and formatting issues. If your CV doesn't look nice, neat, and presentable, if there's too much content or text on that 1 page, it's just going to get thrown in the bin. No one's going to take it seriously, because when you join as an analyst, when you join as an intern, you are responsible for being presentable, especially if you're in a client-facing role or if you're working in the front office, which consists of revenue-generating divisions, which typically require you to liaise and, you know, interact with clients. They don't want someone who's going to send out messy, unorganized or disorganized, untidy work to clients, because it just doesn't look good. You show you are neat, tidy, organized, and presentable by having a neat, tidy, and presentable CV. Spelling mistakes on your CV and incorrect formatting or inconsistent formatting literally just show the reader that you have poor attention to detail. And one of the key competencies to have at an investment bank as a junior is strong attention to detail. So if you can't show that by having a good, neat, and tidy CV, then you might as well not apply, because you're wasting your own time. Simple hack is print out your CV, go through it with a red pen, or print it out, give it to someone else to check. Always get someone else to read your CV, because I guarantee you will not spot all the mistakes, and it helps for someone else to review it. Another mistake that I see a lot of uni students or new uni students make on their CVs, and investment banks hate, is basically don't list all of your modules that you're studying for your economics degree. People know what modules are in an economics degree. And secondly, don't include a personal bio talking about how you're motivated, driven, blah, 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 blah. Those 3 or 4 lines at the top of your CV that talk about, you know, your personal bio is a waste of space, because everyone's just going to write the same thing and it doesn't really tell the reader anything. Anyone can write something that sounds good. Whereas the rest of the CV is important because it talks about your experience, what you learned from those experiences. Those experiences are unique to you, right? Not everyone can duplicate or replicate those experiences. That's why they're important. Whereas a personal generic bio at the top of your CV does nothing for you, and it just wastes very important line space that could be used more efficiently, since you've only got 1 page, right? You don't need to have your photo on your CV. Just keep it black and white in terms of the ink and the font. You can go up to size 12, keep it to minimum size 10, don't go any lower, and use a professional font like Arial or Times New Roman. Alright, so those were the first 5 things that you shouldn't be doing on your CV. I provided a few solutions, but we'll touch more deeper in a bit. But before we carry on, it's time to introduce today's video sponsor, Financial Edge Training. The top 4 global investment banks, as rated by the Financial Times, use Financial Edge Training to teach their new hire programs. You can experience this same training online at your own pace. Not only are FE founders ex-investment bankers, but they have a leading faculty of 9 full-time Wall Street instructors with over 157 years of experience between them. FE has lots to offer. They've got micro degree certifications, they've got online courses, they've got Felix, which is their unique valuation tool, which you can check out on the website. It will all be linked below. But if you do complete any micro degree certification, you'll be able to join FE's world-class alumni on LinkedIn, alongside finance professionals working at top firms. To add, Financial Edge have tons of online courses ranging from investment banking to sales and trading to asset management and beyond. So if you're interested in breaking into an investment bank, I'm pretty sure they've got an online course that will be useful for you. Best of all, you can get a massive 25% discount off all their online courses by using the code Afzal25 at checkout. For full details and relevant links, see the video description below. And with that, let's get back to the video. 5 things that investment banks love to see or employees love to see on your CV. Number 1, interesting stats or relevant data to the firm or division. This applies to your cover letter as well as your CV, but if you can make your CV tailored and more specific to the organization and the division specifically that you're applying to, that will make you stand out. But don't make that mistake of leaving one firm's name in your cover letter or your CV and then using that same CV or cover letter to apply to a different firm, because it's going to look silly and they're immediately going to reject you, so be careful. But the more specific you can tailor your CV to that organization or the role, so if your CV is customized and all the bullet points talk about, you know, your strong sales skills, communication skills, all of that, and you're applying to a sales role, great. If you're applying to a technical role or an investment role and you can tailor your CV to a, you know, to look like a strong candidate for a technical role or an investment role, even better. So the more tailored and specific your CV, whether it's data, whether it's sentences, whether it's key competencies, to the role you're applying to the firm, to the division, the better. So always remember that. Next, this goes back to results achieved. So if you can include data, figures, results, whether it's like, oh, you're part of a society at university, because of your participation and your lead on marketing, numbers increased, or attendance numbers increased to your events by 50% or whatever the figures are. Data like that is always useful and it makes you stand out. Don't just state that you were part of a society or you took on a leadership position. Say what you achieved. What was the result of you being part of that team? The more you could do that in your bullet points, the better your CV will stand out. Key competencies. Every single firm is looking for key competencies, whether they use machines or automated trackers to sift through your CVs, or whether it's a HR person or an employee. They want to see key buzzwords. These buzzwords include competencies like teamwork, interpersonal skills, attention to detail, analytical skills, all these buzzwords. If you just Google search competencies for work, you should get a list, and then try and put as many of these in your CV. Don't overdo it, obviously, but every time you mention one, you need to back it up with an example. And these things are key buzzwords that they'd actually look for in CVs, because these are the relevant competencies that an analyst or an intern is required in these types of roles. So if you can include those, good. If you don't include them, you stand less of a chance to get an interview offer. Number 4, if you want to take your CV to the next level, and this is where most of the top candidates get their interview offers, include something extremely unique that only you have done. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can state something that gets the interviewer interested in you, that raises their eyebrows, that thinks, oh, this is very unique, or something for them to kind of remember you specifically as opposed to other candidates. Because think of it, let's say there's going to be thousands of CVs, thousands of applicants per offer, or hundreds of applicants per offer, and you need to stand out. You're trying to fight to get a place for an interview. You need to stand out. And oftentimes, if you've got a unique scholarship, if you've got a unique hobby, if you've got a unique achievement, or you know, you've done something that no one else has done, it kind of makes you stand out, and it shows that you might be exceptional in a different way, and it's something to talk about. And last but not least, keep them guessing. You don't want to give everything on your CV. Don't put too much information. You want your CV's job is to tease the person reading it so that they want to find out more. If someone wants to find out more about you, what happens? They invite you to an interview. So keep them guessing, tease them, give them a bit of info, don't give them too much. Give them 1 or 2 bullet points or 3 bullet points. Don't give them 6 bullet points per experience. You want to vary your CV, show them that you've got a lot of strings to your bow, or bows to your string, whatever the phrase is. You've done lots of different things. You've done extracurricular stuff, voluntary stuff, work experience, relevant, irrelevant, it doesn't matter. Just make the bullet points relevant by focusing on the competencies. If you do that, I'm pretty sure you're going to be getting an interview invitation. And yeah, always remember that the purpose of your CV is to prompt curiosity so that they invite you for an interview. If you do that, you'll be on your way. If you made it to the end of the video, check out some of these. They might be useful for you, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.